Welcome to your inspirational weekend forecast for the weekend of September 28th, 29th, and 30th, 2012. I am Astrologer David Palmer, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Here is the big full moon weekend, the big T-square. That is because the Sun and Uranus and Pluto are in a perfect T-square, lots of pressure, and our emotions tap deep into this. Not only Friday, but on Saturday. Friday we have the moon in Pisces, and this is really us being sensitive to this pressure, really feeling it out. That's because on Friday the T-square is exact degrees, all at 6 degrees. We really need to emotionally feel this energy. And this is why we have to, because us being sensitive to the energy is teaching us what we have to do on this full moon. And this full moon is all about what is getting in the way. What is stopping you in your harmony? What is stopping you from living in happiness? What is stopping you from having the right partnerships? We look at ourselves. This weekend is all about us emotionally connecting to how we need to reinvent ourselves, how we must become a new unique self, how we must look and see if this identity is a false identity or not. As this full moon on Saturday hits Uranus, it is squaring Pluto. And Pluto is where we need to make great change. Pluto is really the center of this T-square. This is what's getting hit the hardest. And it is all about where we must change, where we must rebirth. It is the system of our life. Okay, great, we have that now. The bottom, the system, what controls our life is what needs to change. Well, what do we need to do? Where's the light at? Let's look at that first. The light isn't balance and harmony. You know what? We deserve to have a life where our system is built off living in harmony and balance, and with all the right partnerships and so forth. Now let's look at, wow, the dark side. That's because the moon does represent the dark. You don't see a full moon until it's dark out, right? The moon also, in all esoteric knowledge, has always been dark. Demons, the dark side, the past, and so forth. Emotionally connecting with our ego. Our ego, our identity is what is in the way. We are in the way of our own self. Our own ego is in the way of our balance and harmony, of our partnerships. It's always about me, me, me. Yet this weekend is all about finding out the truth. Mars in Scorpio, digging deep to this truth. And Pluto is about getting the truth out too. The truth of why we don't have the system we want in our lives. Why is our rules not making our lives harmonious? We've always lived this way, and why is it not making it this way? We have to see that love. We have love holding back on the reins too at the same time. Because we have Venus and Leo pulling back on Mars and Scorpio like a dog and saying, before you go out there and do everything crazy and intense, make sure you're using that energy to find out what love is. And this is connected with our harmony, finding love. Love is the answer. Love is what you need to find in yourself. Our identity needs to have love. But is this identity one based off the system, that how many hours have you worked every week? What school did you go to? You need to do this. Did you do that? Did you go to this class? Did you do this? Our identity has been built off a system which is collapsing. Our identity needs to be one based off our pure heart, off one that brings us balance and harmony. So I ask you for this weekend and this full moon, and especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, look at yourself. Are you happy with who you are? Are you happy with what you identify with in your life? Are you feeling that balance and harmony in your life? Are you feeling peace? Are all the relationships that come in your life perfect, harmonious, and beautiful? If they are, then that person is the right person. If it's not, that's the person that needs to reinvent itself and come into a new system. And that new self must be coming off a new rebirth system. It can't come off one that we've typically seen. You know, I'll be honest with you. I'll use me as an example. You know what? I'm a web-based astrologer as my identity. You know what? There's not too many of us around. You know what? This system is new. I'm making up my whole life as I'm going with this new system and changing myself. I used to be a reality TV star. That's what I thought I was. That was what my false identity really wanted. I wanted to be this reality star. I'm a reality star. You didn't see me on all those TV shows? I lived in the most unbalanced, most harmonious life ever. Waiting for the next magazine, waiting for the next TV show to call me, waiting for a guest appearance on a radio show. My whole life was based off that. But you know what? I found that my core, my heart was astrology and house music. It didn't matter how many TV shows I went on. It didn't matter about that. I realized that my identity was all about love. It was what I loved. And you know what? Ever since I've been following this, nothing but balance, nothing but the right people, nothing but the right relationships, just nothing but harmony, beauty. And it's because I'm changing my system. I'm going with the new system. This is a new world being built. This is a new system being built. This is a new self we must reinvent. If you're still holding on to the same self you've always been, the identity, that thought of what you've always been, this is time for you to really take a look, because the pressure that is building up is having us dig up deep. And it's okay. I'm not here to like scold you or say you're wrong, because that's not what the energy is. The energy is me showing you that this is a time of acceptance. It's a time of compassion. Neptune and Saturn in a perfect trine. It's time to be responsible and be compassionate. And be responsible for our spiritual self. And really look and see if that ego is getting in the way. You know what? Not being mad at yourself. Because that's not you. That's a false identity. That's a false sense of you. That's a mask that has run its course. And it's okay. So all the deep stuff that's purging up, because Pluto and Uranus is deep, internal, old, past stuff. You know what? We deal with it, and we find our heart, and we let go, and we release, and we become new people. We become a new self, and we come into harmony. We deal with our partnerships, not what we want the change is, what do we want to change. And this is where the power is, my friends. And on Sunday, we come into really emotionally connecting with this new self. So if you want to do your work, if you want to find your harmony, it's time to seriously look at who you truly are. And we're not talking about your soul. We're talking about your identity. It's time for you to see if that is really the person that you should be. And is that person bringing you the harmony and the love and the acceptance of the dark stuff that you have, and just always coming from compassion and knowing that this is a learning process, and that our identity isn't based off how many hours you've put in, how many weeks did you do this, what shows were you on, what awards did you win. It's all about how pure you are on the inside, and what makes you feel good, and what makes you feel at peace, and what makes you feel connected to God and the universe, and what makes you feel special and unique in your own self. I leave you with that this weekend. My 30 minutes are on sale right now until Sunday. My 30-minute one-on-one sessions were, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them and look deep into your chart, your destiny, your relationships, your identity, and see if it's pure to you. I also have my $9.95 Back to the Root MP3s that help you get back to the root, to remember who you truly are. And I'm truly here for you guys. And don't be hard on yourself if you realize that your harmony isn't here because that false identity was in the way. It's all about compromise. It's all about compassion that you have with yourself. And we get to start all brand new on Sunday, emotionally connect with the goals and the sole purpose of what we really want, and find our true happiness. I'll see you guys on Monday.